Radio. So, yes, it's amazing to be right back here. I said earlier on, it's a beautiful Friday, and today our topic is jealousy and obsession. But that was Before I Let You Go by Blackstreet. Beautiful song indeed. I hope that it has set some kind of a tone for you for this evening. So I have got Sister Israel right here with me. I call her Sister Israel, and I'm calling her that right on air. But hey, Israel, welcome once
Hey, thank
again.
you once again.
Okay, so we will have Sydney Lamte join us sometime very soon. He is unreal, so he will join us very soon. But for now, jealousy and obsession in relationships. Easy. I was actually looking at the meaning of being jealous. I thought, as much as we know it, I thought, let me just go into the dictionary
Yeah.
and find out exactly what it means to be jealous. And what I picked up was that feeling or showing a resentful suspicion that one's partner is attracted to or involved with someone else. So, like a jealous partner. And the person can be fiercely protective. And I thought the word fiercely protective, I thought, wow, that is quite a bit of a strong
Yes,
word.
that's true.
So it says fiercely protective of one's rights or possessions. So it means that you feel that you have the right,
Yeah.
or that person is your possession.
Yeah.
And then again, I looked at the meaning of obsession and obsessive, because I thought, let me actually, read it out so
Dig
that
into it.
exactly, so people can actually see the enormity of
Yeah.
these words,
Absolutely. Yeah.
because these things happens, and a lot of the times we see it as very light, but then it really destroys
Yes.
relationships.
Very much so.
So obsession is the state of being obsessed with someone or something. Okay, so what is obsessive then? And it says that it is the nature of an obsession, or people dogged by obsessive jealousy. It says it could be all consuming, compulsive, dominating,
Yeah.
or controlling. So again, when I see these words, consuming, compulsive, dominating, controlling, these are alarm bells, because in relationships, this should not happen. What are your thoughts on this, my dear?
Wow. It's when actually when you called me and you said we're gonna discuss this about this topic, I
Yes.
thought, wow, this is really interesting, because jealousy is very um, it can be looked at it in a two different ways, a good way and a bad way.
Yeah.
Because I think jealousy is good when it's being dealt in a positive way.
Right.
For example, when you have your baby, when you have your brand new baby from the hospital, and you're coming home, the way you hold the baby
Yeah.
to yourself, that in itself is this a bit of jealousy there, because it's like you protecting that
Okay, yeah.
object or that ever that is in your arm.
That is like a precious
Precious,
possession.
yes. So and you can also look at it in a bad way, whereby somebody else is standing on the other side, looking at you and thinking, oh, what's all this about? Envying it or envying you
So it's taking it to that other
to
level.
that other level. So on that same note, jealousy can be looked at in a positive way and also in a negative way at the
Right.
same time, depending on who is involved. If you've got good families, obviously they will enjoy with you. But if you've got someone who is not really on the same page as you, or don't like you, or not happy with what you're experiencing or what you've got, then they can also look at it in a bad way to, feel envious, and kind of the jealousy will then be manifested, and you'll be able to know, because you see when somebody's jealous of you, you feel when somebody's jealous of you.
Wow. So that, I think that is very good, explanation to some degree, because you've
Yes.
given a positive side of jealousy and the negative side of jealousy as well. So I think that is really,
Yeah.
really good. It's interesting because I have a story here that we would be going into at some point,
Okay.
you know, and it's about someone complaining
Yeah.
about their partner being so jealous.
Yeah.
Is it okay to be jealous in a relationship?
Oh, yes. It is very okay. It's healthy, actually. I would say it's healthy because if you're in a relationship and you don't have any ounce of jealousy in you, that is not real, because I think it's part of us. We're
Right.
born with it. It's something that you can't exclude yourself from, because it's something that we kind of, our environments, our societies
Yeah.
actually, we're in it. It's all part of it, So jealousy is a good thing, but you should try and moderate it rather than taking it out of context to make it, you know, bad. So in my view, I think it's definitely good. When you've got a bit of jealousy in your relationship, it
Yeah.
actually protects the relationship. And
Do you think so?
yes,
Okay. How?
okay, this is how I see it. If you've got a husband or a spouse, and everything he does is okay, it's acceptable, then you're not really into the relationship. You have to kind of allow that. What's the word? It's like to protect the relationship.
Okay.
To protect it is, showing that you love your spouse, you love him or you love her. So you try and secure the relationship. So in that sense, there can be a bit of, a tiny bit of jealousy there.
Right.
And also, I also feel that if there's no jealousy in it, your husband or your spouse can do anything, and you accept it. You be like, okay, it's all right.
You think so?
Yeah.
So definitely. So would you say that every relationship there is an element of jealousy
There
in
is.
every
There
relationship?
is.
Every relationship.
Yes, there is.
Wow. Okay. So we have Sydney Lanter right here in the studio. Whoop, whoop. Sydney, welcome to the Bedtalk show as always.
Thank you, Ajua.
Lovely to have you. So we are talking about jealousy and obsession in a relationship. And so that's what Easy was just actually brought a bit of light to jealousy, the good side of it and the bad side of it. And I just asked her if jealousy is necessary in every relationship, or if jealousy is evident in every relationship. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it depends on the type of jealousy.
Okay.
There's positive jealousy
Uh-huh.
and there's negative jealousy. So I was discussing this topic with a friend, a female friend,
Uh-huh.
and I said, "What do you think about this?" And she said to me, "Well, if that was my partner, I'd be very happy because obviously he cherishes me so much." And I said to her, "Well, if I was a lady, I wouldn't be comfortable in that relationship because I don't like people, snooping on me or trying to know every single thing I do.
Yeah.
We are married, but at the end of the day, we are still individuals
Yes.
with different things we like."
Circle of friends as well.
Yeah, because don't you think that it could be a bit suffocating if the person is extremely jealous?
Well, if it's excessive, then yes. But then again, it depends on the kind of partner you have. Like I said, this lady I spoke to said she hasn't got a problem with it. And you'll get other ladies who will have a problem
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
So it depends
I
on
think
the
it
partner you
depends,
have.
Yes.
I,
Yeah.
I think sometimes this lady has she really experienced it, because I think sometimes when you say on the other side and you haven't actually experienced it, you probably might not feel what the person in that situation is going through.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking. Because sometimes it's easy for you to say, "Oh, I would like it," but then when you are in it, it's nice at the beginning because you feel that your partner cares so much, but then it becomes suffocating after a while, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what what's his name again?
Sydney.
That's what Sydney said about when it becomes excessive, then it's a worry. Because jealousy, I think we said it earlier, that it can be good and also it can be bad.
Yeah.
And he's obviously made a point that he's had a discussion with a friend, and I've also had a little bit of discussion with a friend, and I actually said that it's healthy to have a little bit of jealousy.
Yeah, some form of jealousy.
Some form and some level
Because
of it.
yes, if you had a relationship without jealousy, then I'd be worried if that was
Yeah.
my relationship.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be like, well,
Yeah.
does it mean you don't care?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, there should be some form of jealousy, I think.
Yeah.
Sydney, you mentioned excessive
Yeah.
jealousy. Actually, we will come back to that.
Okay.
Okay, we're just going to take a quick breather and we will come back to excessive jealousy. I want to know a bit more what you term as excessive jealousy.
Okay.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart of the family ripped apart. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred or respect. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife and save a life. Gwenton Slowly, supporting all family and young people.
Mixpiration with Bright every Sunday evening from 6 to 8 p.m. is just fun. It's exciting. It's a mix of contemporary R&B and pop gospel music right here on ABN Radio. Enjoy great themes every Sunday evening with Bright on Mixpiration. A blend of great inspiring songs just for your Sunday evening relaxation. Tune in from 6 to 8 p.m. This and every Sunday. They're on ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
It's very scary to get onto the property ladder.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
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 No, it's not.
Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not.
Lay away your fears about the property market. Watch out for the new property and lifestyle show in association with On Point Property Limited, coming soon on ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
Are you a business owner? How well do people know your business and what you have to offer? How about telling them in your own words? ABN Radio is giving you the opportunity to tell your business story. Share information about your products and services. Tell us about the amazing positive reviews your business has had and invite new clients to try them out for themselves. Call our business hotline on 0755 7042 407 to register your interest. My Business Story is a new infomercial radio segment coming soon on ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan station. My name is Uti Wachuku. Keep it locked here.
So welcome back to the Bedtalk Show with me, Ajua Arma Apia. We are live on ABN Radio, London's premier Afropolitan station. So our topic for tonight is jealousy and obsession in a relationship. So we actually went into the dictionary and explained what jealousy and obsession is. Sydney mentioned excessive jealousy. Sydney, I want to know what you mean by excessive jealousy.
Well, excessive jealousy is relative. So what is excessive for me might not be excessive for you. So it goes back to my earlier point. It depends on the individuals. Because what you think will worry someone might not worry you.
Yeah.
Personally, what excessive jealousy would be for me is, well, like what the lady is going through. If I was in her shoes, I'd have a problem with that, because if you're accusing me of things I'm not doing, that's worrying.
Yeah.
You know, unless, of course, I have given you reasons to doubt me. But if there are no reasons, then I see no reason why you should, accuse me of things I haven't done. Maybe this person might have had a bad experience in the past.
Yeah.
And so they are a bit insecure in this relationship.
Uh-huh.
It could be that this person is punching above his weight. Then again, he's like, well, this lady is maybe not really my size, if you know what I mean. So yes, then again, so many things can cause jealousy. So when it comes to what's excessive jealousy, you need an individual to define what is excessive for them.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it can also lead into envious, suspicious,
Right.
mistrustful,
Okay.
and anxious.
So anxiety can
Anxieties
bring that as
can
well.
hit in,
Oh.
and doubting as well, and insecurity. That is one of the key that comes under jealousy when you talk about excessive. So insecurity would definitely show up, because once you keep doing or repeating things like you don't trust your partner,
Yeah.
so you go behind his or her back, checking in his phone, smelling his clothes, checking it, to see if there's any makeup or lipstick, or that is.
And people do that, don't
People
they?
do that. People do that. And that is where one begins to start feeling insecure in a relationship. Maybe not in a relationship per se, but in themselves.
Can you give me, a definition of, okay, is insecurity same as jealousy? Are they different? If they are, what separates them?
Yeah, I think my views for insecurity is it can sometimes be a cause of one's bad experience in a past relationships, or what's happened to them when they were children or growing up, or something that they've experienced in their past.
Right.
And sometimes, if it's not dealt with, it can actually carry on, or they can grow up with it, and then it becomes part of them, and they can actually enter into a relationship whilst that thing is still there. And it can also cause them to have low self-esteem,
Right, yeah.
no confidence in themselves, and yeah, so that is insecurity. But when you talk about, should we say, excessive jealousy?
Yeah.
That is where you become jealous when somebody is doing right for themselves, or when something is going really good in a spouse or couple's relationship, and you sit back and you envy it in a bad way, like, oh, I wish it goes wrong, or I wish something bad happens.
But that is really strange, though, because you are in a relationship. You're meant to be a unit. You're meant to be a tag team.
Yeah.
Why would you wish the other person wrong? Why would you be envy of your partner or your spouse? So do you look like you want to say something?
Well, it happens all the time in relationships. So when you have a couple and one partner seems to be progressing more than the other. Let me say, if you have a husband and a wife,
Yeah.
both very educated, because of children, there are instances where the man goes on to fulfill his career, goes on to do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
But having kids and staying at home sometimes slows down the progress of a woman's career.
That's right, yeah.
And it can lead to jealousy.
So the woman becomes jealous of the partner?
Yeah, because she can see this chap. We've all finished university. We're married. He's just rising and rising and rising. And because of children, I can't advance as much as he's going. Having said that, there are supportive families where, despite the fact that one partner might be advancing than the other, he supports the other as well.
Exactly.
And that mitigates jealousy.
Yeah.
But in instances where you get a selfish partner, there are times when things like that can happen.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I think I would say insecurity there, but jealousy.
Insecurities can lead to jealousy.
Well,
if you know
yeah,
what I mean.
I think jealousy
Yeah.
stems out from insecurity, actually,
Yeah.
isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So by being insecure, then you start.
That's that element
Yeah.
of
Exactly.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah. I think in that sense, you can say, then the other party might feel, I'm not achieving my goals in life, or life is slowing me down.
Yeah.
My partner is doing so well. I can't move on because of the situation or the circumstances around the household. So that kind of insecurity would definitely
Will come in
in, and
So at
you
what
begin to doubt yourself and feel low
Right.
within yourself, and your self-confidence will go down.
Okay, so at what point does jealousy become harmful in a relationship?
Oh my goodness! That when the one person becomes controlling in a relationship, abusive,
Yeah.
and constantly putting the other person down, I think that's when it becomes harmful.
Sid, what would you have to add to
I
that?
feel the moment it becomes harmful is when you wish your partner is failing. The moment you start wishing
Yeah.
your partner to fail, that's where it starts. It
That is
just becomes-
toxic, though.
Exactly.
That
'Cause-
is toxic,
yeah.
you know, for the fact that you stay with this person, you sleep on the same bed with this person, you claim to
Yeah.
love this person, and
And
yet
it can also be done in a subtle way you wouldn't even know, you wouldn't even feel, but it's there by
Yeah.
the way your partner will speak to you, like constantly putting you down, in a subtle way,
yeah,
making fun of you, saying certain words that, it doesn't sit well within your spirit. And it becomes chronic in a relationship where this is something that you hear all the time, so that can be really crashing. I think that will crash anyone.
well, if you have only just dialed in, we are talking about jealousy and obsessive behavior in a relationship. This is the Bedtalk Show. We are live on ABN Radio. And so the studio lines, if you want to call in, 0208 670 0208 670 You could also send a WhatsApp text on 0788 7475940. Also, you could call us on WhatsApp. So it's the same number again, is 0788 7475940. So there is a call coming through, and I'm going to pick that up right now. Hi, good evening. You are live on the Bedtalk Show. This is ABN Radio. Who am I talking to?
Hi, good evening, Aja. My name is Dr. Lillian.
Hey, Dr. Lillian. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank
How
you
are
so much for your call. I'm very good, thank you. What have you got for us? I know that you always give us some very good contributions. So yes, I'm all ears.
Yeah, I'm just have like a few points to talk about jealousy.
Uh-huh.
And I think that jealousy is a normal emotion, but it can be painful and difficult to control. I mean, sometimes like jealousy happens most commonly, like in a romantic relationship or going on and so on. But also, you talked about how jealousy can be harmful. It can really be very dangerous.
Okay.
And jealousy can take over people's lives and lead into a lot of issues like anxiety and also sleeping problems. And I've seen people who've got really poor appetite, and they know they are on antidepressant because of jealousy. And
Right.
if you cannot deal with it properly, it can really affect your relationship in a very, very, very huge negative way, especially if it's not genuine. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, at times, I know men cause it, or we tend to feel like a man has done this, but at times, like a man has not done anything or is not doing anything wrong to cause the jealousy.
Right.
But then, in that case, if you start thinking that he's doing something wrong, you have to think about him, because it can also bring a lot of anxiety on his side because he feels he's not trusted.
Yeah.
And also it can drain him emotionally. So he will need emotional support, but will not get it because of jealousy. So I think the most major aspect there is putting trust in order, because when trust is not in a relationship, jealousy is going to be there. There is simple, mild jealousy, which shows that a man or a woman is being appreciated. That is very healthy.
Right.
But when it becomes severe in a relationship, it leads to a lot of issues that follow in that. So it becomes very harmful.
Wow.
So that's what I have to contribute. That's
Thank
how I
you.
feel about it.
It's a very good
Yeah.
contribution,
Yeah.
honestly. It is a very good one. So, thank you.
Sorry, would you then say it's okay at some point in a relationship?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's very, very okay, because
Yeah.
when someone feels jealousy, actually they feel that someone is really cares about
right.
them.
Yeah.
So if let's say that if for example,
That's
maybe a small amount of jealousy can
That's
be
right,
good.
yeah.
For example, if it's mild and well managed, it can help a couple to appreciate
Yes,
one another,
yes.
and that passion of a relationship
Yes.
is there. But if it really is that extreme jealousy,
Mm-hmm.
really and truly, it can destroy a relationship
That's
and
right.
damage your health.
Whoa.
Yeah. Wow.
Dr. Lillian, thank you as
You're
always for
welcome.
your contribution. Give us a call
You're
again.
welcome. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now. So that was Dr. Lillian, and yes, I think that was a very good contribution.
Yeah.
From her. Doctor, thank you so much for
And
your.
you know, it's really good to actually hear from listeners that it's okay to have a bit of jealousy
Yeah.
in your life.
Yeah.
It is
I
okay,
think
it
it's
is healthy.
impossible not to have
Well,
any
that's
jealousy.
what
I think it's
actually
impossible.
said right from the beginning. It's
Yeah.
part of us. I
Yeah,
think
it's impossible. 'Cause,
embedded in us.
yeah, if I had a lady who was not jealous at all, like I said before,
Yeah.
I'd be very worried.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
where are your emotions?
Yes. Where are your emotions?
Yeah, if I tell you I'm going now, I need you to ask me where are you going.
Yeah.
You know, if I say I'm coming home at 8 o'clock and it's 8:20, 30, I'm not there, you have to call me.
Yeah.
You're not home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Which
you
is
like that?
healthy.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's nice. I think it's
It's
quite
nice, but you know some people don't like that as well, because they feel that, oh, why are you calling to check up on me? I'm not a baby. And
It's when it becomes excessive.
so when I keep calling every day,
Well,
Is
not
that
every
when?
day. Every day is fine, but there are people who call you 10 minutes, 5 minutes,
Yeah.
7 minutes, 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That is
yeah.
excessive. Yeah.
That's when it becomes excessive.
Yeah.
so what are the symptoms of excessive jealousy? You know, what can one see and spot that thing and say, okay, this is excessive, this is too much?
It's a pattern of behavior.
Okay,
So
what do
from
you mean by that?
from the scenario you read, the lady's issues.
I haven't read it yet, but
You
I'll be
haven't read
reading it soon.
Well,
yeah.
when you read it, listeners will know what she's going through is excessive. You don't need a magician to tell you that.
Yeah.
You know, because when someone starts to accuse you about things that are not happening, when someone becomes suspicious,
Yeah.
you know, someone is all over you every time, suspicious about your cousin, that's excessive. You know.
That is actually true. So
Yeah,
those
and
are some of the
literally
symptoms.
checking on everything that you do. It's just when your phone rings or your phone is not somewhere that he can see, or that means something is going on. If you answer the phone in a bedroom or somewhere else that he's not around, that means you're
He's
doing something
thinking,
behind.
yeah.
So that is where
So is it to do with their thought patterns as well?
it's what it, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
and
definitely
it's to do with certain individuals with certain traits.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so jealousy and obsessive behavior, and that's what we are talking about right about now. This is the Bedtalk Show with me, Adra. We are live on ABN Radio. You could catch us on the DAB app if you are driving, or if you've got a radio by your bedside. You could also catch us online, abnradiouk.com, and on the TuneIn app, as well as Modern Ghana. We are also streaming live on YouTube, so yeah, do go there and have a peep. But for now, we will be right back. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart ripped out of a family. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife, save your life.
ABN TV, your favorite black broadcaster, is now on Virgin TV channel 842.
ABN TV, your favorite black channel, has launched ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station. In 4 easy steps, you can listen to ABN Radio on DAB in your car and home. Step 1. Select DAB from the menu on your car stereo or choose DAB from your car's media center. Step 2. Press Auto-Tune, Auto-Scan, or the retune button for a full scan. Step 3. Select ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station. Step 4. Relax and enjoy the very best in Afrobeats, gospel, R&B, hip-hop, talk shows and more. Listen and engage with our amazing presenters. That's just 4 easy steps. If you've got only FM and AM receiver in your car, you can obtain a DAB converter from High Street Electronic Stores. Call 0208 671 9777 for more information. ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
This is your girl Diana Hamilton, and you're listening to ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan station. I love this station.
We are back on the Bedtalk show. I have Sydney Lamter right here with me and Izzy. So thank you, both of you. I think that you've made a lot of meaningful contribution right now on this subject that we are dealing with. I believe that it's a very delicate subject that people are going through. Not a lot of people talk about it, but I know and I believe that people are going through, these kind of issues. Now, what do you do when you realize that the person you are with is extremely jealous? How do you deal with this?
I think, first of all, we'll have to identify the genesis of this particular jealousy.
Okay.
There are times when...
So when you say the genesis of it, you
people
mean...
have become jealous because of things they've seen. Either seen from you, the current partner, or things they've seen from previous partners. Okay? So I have a friend who got a new partner. And what had happened was the partner had had a very bad experience with their previous partner. So anytime this chap had a text message, had a phone call, his new partner wanted to know who you're talking to. Who called, who sent the text. And even when they're sitting together, she'll sneak to see who he's texting.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Well, but there are relationships like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes people will tell you, well, because I love my partner so much, I put up with that behavior. Yeah. So...
Is it okay to snoop? As a, it's a result of jealousy. Do you really have to snoop?
Well, again, it depends, There are relationships where you go in there, they all have their phones available. Anyone can pick anyone's phone. And there are relationships where there are passwords on phones.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's a very dicey topic.
Yeah.
Because the keys to my door cannot open your door. If you know what I mean.
You're right.
I think
so. People manage it very differently.
Yeah. I think communication is the key.
Yeah.
And like
Sydney
said earlier, this could be contributed from one's bad past experience or whatever. But once you emerge into a new relationship, in order for one not to carry the past into the new, is to learn to communicate. It's almost like starting to learn ABC, because when you had really bad experience, often you tend to carry the whole.
But you've got to learn to leave the baggage.
I know.
Out
it's
there.
really difficult. It's really, really difficult. So when you come into a new relationship, that's the time to let go and start to trust the other person
Yeah.
And then communicate. Find out what the other person likes and doesn't like, and know yourselves. Because if you know what makes me tick,
Yeah.
at least when you're doing something, you think about it before you do it. You know, like, number one, why having a phone, both of you holding your mobile phones when you're together? That's the time to let go these things and have you two, just the two of you.
Technology, isn't it?
You know, so this would unlock your emotions. You can then get to know yourselves. You know, I think it's also healthy to ask your partner or your spouse, actually ask the question, are you a jealous person? What makes you jealous? Talk about it, you know, and then you can work around it so that both of you can, you'll be able to identify what makes one jealous, and a good jealous and a bad jealous, you know. I think it
Yeah,
comes down to
what you've said is
communication.
right, but then it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
So you have lots of relationships where one person is willing to compromise and the other one isn't. You know, and there are people who, I've spoken to someone who tells me, well, I won't allow my husband to do that. I'm very jealous. She's not saying she's jealous because of something that has happened. She's just saying that is how I am.
Okay.
I don't share.
Yeah. So
Not at all.
That is.
I won't even allow him to talk to other ladies at a party. I'll make sure I'm by his side.
Extreme.
Well, but that's how some people are like that.
Yeah,
So if you get a man who doesn't mind, fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, there are some spouses who would put up with it.
Yeah,
who,
exactly.
you know,
And
say
there are
it's
other
okay.
spouses who have very limited amount of jealousy, and they express their jealousy by passing humorous comments here and there, and that's how they express their jealousy. You know, so it's a very dicey topic.
But then if you know, because you did say that this person says, I am very jealous, so even when I go to a party, I won't allow my partner to speak to any other woman. Now, what if this partner does not really like it? It's one thing if they don't mind, but what if they mind?
Well, then it's up to both of them to come to a compromise, you know, because if I was in someone's shoes, if I had a woman who wouldn't make me talk to other ladies at a party, then she wouldn't be my woman.
Yeah.
Then she wouldn't, because before you get into a relationship, it starts from somewhere, and you would have identified those traits before you actually get into a relationship.
Yeah.
So if you see those things and you carry on into the relationship, then you don't have to complain because you saw it.
Yeah.
But I think that this is where trust is a very big thing when it comes to relationships and issues like this, because you've got to be able to trust the person that you're with. You've got to be able to trust the person enough to know that even if he's talking or she's talking to another man, there's nothing wrong with it.
Ajua, it is not the individual they don't trust. It is the other people around the individual. No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, you've got to still trust your person, that regardless of the people around.
Everybody has got their vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
You know, when you put certain people in certain situations, look, you can go and bring a Roman father and they will fall. You understand? So the thing is, don't put your hand in fire if you don't want to get burned. That's what someone will tell you. You know, everyone is vulnerable.
Yeah.
You can't say you're in a particular situation, your vulnerabilities will come to the fore. So everyone is vulnerable.
Yeah.
So, so some people prefer prevention.
Prevention is better than cure.
But, definitely trust is one of the main keys that we need to identify. If you don't trust your partner,
a level of trust, you know, because
trust
cannot be limitless, you know. It can't be limitless.
No.
If you say, I trust my partner, so I'm going to leave him in a room with 3 naked women, You understand me? Yeah, exactly. So trust is not limitless.
Yeah.
You have to have a certain level of trust.
To be honest, talking about that, I know someone who, his brother-in-law could be in the room, and she will still take off her clothes and have a shower whilst the brother-in-law is in the bathroom shaving. And the other partner is comfortable with it. I mean,
Exactly.
I don't
So-
know how that works,
Yeah.
but
I think that's, I don't know, but
so
it
there's
can
this trust
happen.
Exactly.
to,
Yeah, it can
to a
happen.
fault.
Yes, so to Easy, that's very unusual. You can tell how she's reacting.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You're thinking, I really don't want my husband to see my sister's body.
Exactly.
Yeah. But again, yeah.
Yeah, you can trust him or her not to do anything.
Yeah.
Okay? However, when you are in a certain situation, alcohol becomes involved, your common sense goes out of the window. You understand?
okay.
So I can trust him. Yeah, he's going to a party. He won't do anything. Yes, he's going to a party. He's decided, you know him, he won't do anything. Other factors can contribute to diminish his ability to reason properly. No, that's true. People
Yeah.
make mistakes. People make mistakes. We just have to try and avoid putting
but
ourselves in certain
because
situations.
human beings are vulnerable, does that mean that you have to be jealous excessively? Is it really necessary?
If you ask me,
It's not.
vaguely, I'll
Yeah,
say it's
it's
not
not.
necessary.
It's
But then
not.
again, we are all individuals.
Yeah.
We are all individuals. And growing up, I had relationships before I got married. There were some who were extremely jealous, and there were some who were not that jealous. But as a man, I have not been the jealous type. That doesn't mean I don't have that emotion. I express my jealousy by passing humorous comments. So I'll make my
Positively.
point. Yeah, I'll make my point, but in a very jovial way. But you will get my point. So, for example, you'll go out, come back late. I'll say, "Whoa, where did you go? You're so late today. Are you going to be late again tomorrow?" And then I drum that point in that I'm not happy you were late, but I'm still smiling about it. It means don't be late tomorrow. That's it.
So it's the way that you come across
Exactly.
it.
People have different ways of expressing
Yeah.
themselves.
So that is the nice kind of jealousy.
Yeah, that subtle way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is healthy, because in a way you're showing care and you're saying, you know what, I really didn't like the fact that you didn't come home early. However, I'm not really angry, and I'm not really gonna, break the windows over there.
throw
And I think that is that is quite a good kind of jealousy. So if you've only just tuned in, we are talking about jealousy and obsessive kind of behavior in relationships and in marriages. And yes, you are tuning into ABN Radio, and this is the Bedtalk show. We are going to go for the news on top of the hour, and so keep your dials logged in. We'll be right back.
More news, more information. This is ABN News on the Hour.
From the Sky News Centre at 10. Donald Trump says background checks before buying guns in the US have to be strengthened up. He's been speaking to supporters in Maryland, where he's also promised to defend the right to own firearms. The president's criticised an armed deputy who didn't intervene in the school shooting in Florida last week, despite being the first responder there. He's again called for more teachers to have guns in classrooms.
The beauty is it's concealed. Nobody would ever see it. So this crazy man who walked in wouldn't even know who it is that has it. That's good. And a teacher would have shot the hell out of him before he knew what happened.
Meanwhile, a woman's been apprehended after the van she was driving rammed into a security barrier at the White House. President Trump was inside at the time, and the building is now on lockdown. The family of two brothers who were killed in an apparent hit-and-run in Coventry yesterday have paid tribute to them. The auntie of Corey and Casper Platt-May says she hopes they died with happy thoughts, not in pain. UN diplomats are currently thrashing out a deal on the 30-day ceasefire. It would allow aid to be delivered to thousands of Syrian civilians trapped in fighting just outside Damascus. A 10-year-old boy who was saved by a heart transplant says he was so happy when he heard MPs are backed a bill to change the law on organ donation. He's been campaigning for a system in which people in England have to opt out rather than opt in. It passed an important stage in the House of Commons earlier. Max Johnson has been telling us about the moment he heard it was a step closer to becoming law.
We got the message from friends of ours. It said, "Victory, it's through." Dad said that to me and I was like, yes! I was just so happy.
And Victoria Beckham has suffered what she's calling a small stress fracture. The Spice Girl posted an image to Instagram of her hobbling on crutches and with a protective boot on her left foot. That's the latest from the Sky News Centre. I'm Annie Green.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart ripped out of a family. Consider the potential never realised. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife. Save your life.
So I feel like you need to play something for me.
For you?
Oh, just for me and everybody else watching, but mostly for me.
Okay.
Yeah? Oh, he's singing right to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you have the name right.
Yeah, that's me.
No one serves brunch better than she does. Listen to Afua Adom on the Metropolitan Mix. She's sizzling.
Catch me, Afia Adom, on the Metropolitan Mix right here on ABN Radio, Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Bringing you great music, great chat, and great vibes with celebrity interviews, lots of laughs, and the freshest tunes. It's very scary to get onto the property ladder.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
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 No, it's not.
Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not.
Lay away your fears about the property market. Watch out for the new property and lifestyle show in association with On Point Property Limited, coming soon on ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
Are you a business owner? How well do people know your business and what do you have to offer? How about telling them in your own words? ABN Radio is giving you the opportunity to tell your business story. Share information about your products and services. Tell us about the amazing positive reviews your business has had and invite new clients to try them out for themselves. Call our business hotline on 0755 7042 407 to register your interest. My Business Story is a new infomercial radio segment coming soon on ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy UG Official. And right now, you're tuned into ABN Radio. Make sure you don't touch that dial. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Bedtalk Show. We are live on ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan station. So, talking about jealousy and obsessive behavior within relationships and marriages. And I've got a comment here that I want to, actually it's a question, I think. Sophia Dankwa, thank you so much for that. Sophia is saying that does it not come down to the trust that is built during the courtship period?
Indeed.
Right, yeah.
Very much. That's what we I think.
So if trust is not built during that period, at what point do you build the trust? And why do you go into, a whole lockdown relationship when there is no trust in the relationship?
That is the main key. You need to trust your partner.
I think people go into relationships for different reasons. So the person might be the jealous type, but she has other qualities the partner is looking for. You understand? So someone will say, well, I know she's jealous, but she's this, she's that. Well, I think I can cope with the jealousy. And you can cope with jealousy only for so long.
That's the thing. That's the thing, because it will get to a point where it becomes suffocating.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's because there hasn't been a foundation. If there's no foundation, which is trust, eventually, however strong your relationship is, because you haven't built that foundation, it will crumble sooner or later.
Yeah.
So once you can trust the other person that yes, she or he's a jealous type, but because you trust them so much, you can hold on.
Yeah.
You can hold on to it. So I don't think it should come to the point where one becomes enough is enough, because like you said, this is the person, this is the character of the person. He or she is a jealous type. So, but because of that, you knew, but you went for it, or you enter into it.
So you've got to deal with it.
So you've got to deal with it. But with the trust as the base of the whole thing, you should be able to say, okay, I knew what this person was like before, but because I trust this is not going to, go out of hand or get out of hand, you should be able to.
Because I think that
work with
sometimes it could just be that the person is just naturally friendly. And a couple of weeks ago, I think we spoke about, dangerous flirting. Well, sometimes somebody might be, that is their personality. They are a flirt. It doesn't mean that they are doing anything wrong or they will intentionally go out and do, but that is their personality. So at what point does it become too much?
Yeah, Joa, just to say something that has just cropped up on my mind. When I was a very young man going to tertiary education, there was this lady who always called me dear. And I was so happy. I thought she was flirting with me. I realized she called the whole class dear.
But Sydney, I am very much like that. Same. I call everyone sweetheart. I call everyone dear. So if you are jealous, I'm sorry, but that is me.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, can I read the story?
Yes.
But before I do so, I want to mention the phone lines again for if you want to call. It's 0208 6707300, 0208 6707300. You could also text or call on WhatsApp on 0788 7475940, 0788 7475940. So I am going to read the story, and I'd like you to give us a call as well to let us know what your thoughts are on this. But this is from a lady, and she says, I've been married for almost 2 years. He is really jealous. He accuses me of flirting with his friends in front of him and asks me every day if I will cheat on him and if I have ever cheated on him. I am a teacher, and he even gets jealous of my students, asking if I like them. Now, this weekend at a family dinner, he said he saw me playing footsie with my own cousin under the table. So just to clarify, footsie is, touching legs and playing with legs under the table. Well,
playing football.
Exactly. So he said he saw me playing footsie with my own cousin under the table. Of course, it wasn't true. And I was totally disgusted by his accusation. He says he thinks he is not good enough for me. So this is where insecurity comes in, because he himself feels that he's not good enough. Okay, so she says, I constantly tell him how much I love him, and all I want is for him to trust me. It has come to the point where I don't tell him any story that involves another male, even if it is my cousin, as somehow that will always start a fight. He is always accusing me of having feelings for someone else. I have even started to get suspicious now when he doesn't answer his phone or talks to another girl, because I think he must have feelings for them, which is why he thinks that I feel the same way around other men. There are many other wonderful qualities about my husband, and I love him very much. However, this jealousy issue is getting very exhausting, and I am not sure how many more fights about this I can handle. I need help. Well,
it appears that his jealousy has become contagious.
Yeah.
She's caught it.
Which is sad. Which is sad, because I think because she is now trying to process why this guy is behaving like that. Okay, is it because he's doing it? That's why he thinks that I'm doing it?
Yeah. Could be. Often.
So these are clear signs of excessive jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
So if the other partner is complaining, then obviously she has a problem with it.
Yes.
So it has become excessive.
Yeah.
She's had this for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Only.
2 years can be only to you, but that's
well,
that's
I mean,
a
2
lot.
years in marriage is a lot, but
because
it's only.
I will not tolerate that in a month.
True.
I won't.
Yeah.
So 2 years, she's done well.
It's sad that she stayed
Yeah,
in it.
and this is very toxic because she's beginning to feel unworthy. She's beginning to doubt herself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And because this guy has been doing it constantly, and she's beginning to even doubt her partner now, thinking, obviously he must be doing something.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's always accusing her.
That's
Because
what she's starting to think
bullies
now.
usually have been bullied before.
Exactly.
So why are you constantly accusing me if you're not doing it? Where do you even get that? Where do you get the stage to stand on to even accuse me if you're not already on that stage?
Right. That is a point. That could be a point. But the other thing that I pick up from here is that the guy is also very insecure because he keeps saying to her that he doesn't think that he is good enough for her. So I think for me, that is a sign of insecurity, and that is what makes him act the way he does. Sid, what would you say about
Well,
this?
if you remember in the beginning, as I got here, I
Yeah.
said he's probably punching above his weight. And that happens a lot.
Okay.
There are guys who meet girls and they try their luck. And then they end up with someone they see from afar as someone I cannot get. You know, and it happens to both male and females.
Really?
So to
Yes,
him, he
yes.
might have thought that he's hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
And then now he's thinking that he's not worth.
Because he'll probably see other men and think, this chap is better than me. And I'm with this lady.
Yeah.
And she's so friendly with him. Is it because he's got more muscles than me? Is it because he's got a 6-pack and I've got a 1-pack? Yeah, so there's so many reasons why people become insecure.
It could also possibly be from maybe his childhood.
Right.
Maybe he's experienced something really bad or negative in his life when he was a young man or child, and that can, if that, like I said earlier, if he hasn't been dealt with properly or it hasn't been dealt with at all. Especially men tend to keep a lot of things inside them. They don't share, especially when they've had really bad experience as growing up, or even if they've been bullied or they've been abused.
Yeah.
Some women even get abused by women, and they don't share, or they don't feel that it's man thing to share such things, and they keep it inside, and they can take it into their relationship, and it can actually break the relationship into pieces, and then lose a relationship in all.
Wow, I have got a comment here and I'm going to read it. And this is from Eve. Eve, thank you so much for your contribution. Eve says that I believe there is nothing like someone is a jealous type, especially in marriage. Someone becomes jealous if their partner gives them a reason to be jealous. That's also, a valid point, actually. She says that jealous people just need reassurance, and it takes the two couple to sit down and be open and talk about it. For the lady whose husband is excessively jealous for 2 years, I believe he is doing something fishy and wants to make the woman feel like she is to be blamed in case he is caught out. Well, Eve, that is a valid point too. Thank you so much for that comment. What do you think about Eve's comment?
Well, now it has gone from the man suspecting his wife to the wife now suspecting the man.
Yeah, because she is saying that sometimes when his phone rings, he doesn't pick up. So then she is now thinking that he's not picking up because she's now becoming suspicious.
Has she asked him why he's not picking up his phone?
No, I don't think so. But we haven't delved into that.
You know what Izzy said? Izzy said communication.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so if you come to me and tell me, well, my husband is not picking his phone because I think he's seeing someone, that's the first question I'll ask. Have you asked him why he's not picking up his phone?
So, lady, if you're listening, have you asked him why he's not picking up his phone when you are around? You know, he's probably not doing anything, but he might be also doing something. So, we just don't know.
We will never know if we don't ask him.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, but right now, my worry also is the fact that she is saying that it has come to a point where she can't even talk to him about anything to do with any other man.
Yes, I think because at this point she's lost her self-worth.
Yeah, but then
she's lost her
if you cannot tell, I mean, what is wrong with, I went out, I met my old school male friend. I come home and we're chatting. I'm like, I met this guy. I met my ex-boyfriend. I saw him here. We met up, I mean, you didn't intentionally meet. It wasn't planned, but you saw each other at somewhere. You know, you can talk about it, but if you start keeping things like that, then that means there's a complete problem.
Breakdown, yeah.
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 It's very difficult, you know, because she doesn't know what to do, obviously.
Yes, which is why she wants us to talk about it. So if you're listening and you've got some contribution, please give us a call. You can text, but you can give us a call as well. 0208-670-7300. Easy, go on.
Yeah, I mean, this can be dealt with in such a calm way, in such a loving way, by sitting down or take her out for a meal to start with. Have a drink somewhere, come home. The atmosphere will be different. And then you open the bottle of your issues, then you share.
Right.
And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what a glass of wine could do. You'd be surprised. Just sitting down having a glass of wine.
It could make you talk.
It actually brings a different atmosphere, especially when you've got issues to talk about. Because some people are so they're not it doesn't come easy for them to
they can't
share.
talk.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
shy.
Yeah.
You know, and in our societies, I think in Ghanaians, I'll say in Ghanaian background, we're not
encouraged
to
express our views and stuff like that.
You know, everything is kept in. Yeah. We're too busy with lifestyle, children, work, husbands, housework, and we don't share. We don't let it out.
Yeah.
We don't offload our issues. So we're always bottled in with our problems. And often when you get the chance to actually hear what one's got to say, you'll be surprised. After all these years, you thought you knew your spouse, but you didn't, because you've never given yourselves time and chance to actually share. So these jealousies and insecurities and obsessiveness is all happening because it's all been bottled in for so many years and for so long.
Okay.
You know?
What I was going to say was, you know, sometimes people change. So that some of the contributions you've read, like the lady saying someone might have given someone a reason to be jealous. So in instances like that, the relationship has started. there is no kind of extreme jealousy. And then a reason has been introduced into the relationship, and then one partner has changed.
So could it be like maybe he must have seen some kind of a text message to the lady, or she must have picked up something? Is that what?
Well, if he has seen something like that, it has to be discussed.
Yeah.
It has to be discussed.
You know, it has to be discussed. And if someone has made a mistake, they apologize and we move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it so easy for some people to hold on to little things that happens in relationships? Is that what also is that a contributory factor to this kind of problem?
Yeah.
When
because issues are not shared.
Yeah. Or they've shared it. Okay, there has been a problem. There has been an argument. There has been something. They've dealt with it, but instead of moving on, they are holding on. Yeah.
Some people can't move on.
Hey.
Yeah.
Some people are just like that. They can't move on. They can tell you 10 years later something you did that you don't even remember. Some people just can't move on. That's how they are.
Some people, if you're with a person, you've got to.
Some people get hurt once, and it's for life.
Yeah.
30 years down the line, they'll remind you and say,
you did this, and
they'll talk about it like it was yesterday.
Like it was yesterday, when you, the culprit, would have forgotten about what happened.
And I think some people that hurts them more, or hurts them the most, because you don't want to be reminded.
No.
For something that you did 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're living with the same person, and they managed to keep this inside them. You've probably even forgotten about it. But something can happen, and then they'll bring it up, and you ask yourself, am I still being reminded after all these years? And that can also break your spirit,
So in this lady's case, since she is a non-jealous partner, how is she to deal with the situation? How should she take this forward? How should she, tackle the situation that is eating her up so much?
Well, if she wants to carry on being in that relationship, then there has to be a compromise. And she has to be able to draw lines. You understand?
Yes.
You can't just allow this to go on. You never know when it will end. You have to start drawing lines. You have to sit down, talk about it.
Yeah.
Express to him that, look, I don't like this. This is how it makes me feel. If you carry on doing this, you might probably see what you want to see.
Yeah.
Because
as far as threatening to some extent.
That's not a threat. It is a warning.
Yeah, I think
you can call it a threat, but as far as I'm concerned,
it's a warning.
It's a warning,
right?
It's a warning. Don't do this, otherwise that will happen. It's a warning.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a warning, because I don't see anyhow you can get someone like this to stop. It won't stop. It might reduce, but it will only reduce when you start drawing lines.
Yeah.
Then you can point to the evidence that he's crossing those lines.
I think it can also be approached in a different way.
Okay,
many ways of
maybe asking your spouse if sometimes almost talking for them might help.
How do you mean?
What I mean is, like, for instance, you might ask them, your behavior, has something happened before? Have you experienced something negative in your past that you want to share with me? Like I said, it's not always easy for people to, show their vulnerability.
That's right.
To their spouse or to their partners. So sometimes it's good for you to be in their shoes. Try and put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself, could it be something that she's hiding, or something that she's not sharing? Is she going through something difficult that she can't really express? So ask the question for her.
Right.
Maybe, sweetheart, is there something that you want to share? Is there something difficult for you to share that, I'm here? Bring yourself to her level, go
Okay,
down,
yeah.
you know, and you'll be able to filter out what is going on. It's that simple. But we find it so difficult to, you know, lower ourselves to that point where the woman will feel so important, but it doesn't make the man feels any little.
Is that to do with like men ego generally?
Sometimes I think so.
Sydney, what have you got to say about that?
I
Do you go through that? Do you experience that? Is it like midlife crisis where your ego overshadows everything else?
Well, sometimes, you know, men can have very big egos.
Yeah.
And that's not a secret, you know. And it brings problems and issues like this. But I think it's up to both partners, you know.
Yeah.
If you can really sit down and talk about it, because I don't think anything can be resolved without talking sincerely with each other. And I still maintain my point. That is where you start drawing your lines. You know, when you're drawing lines, you don't have to shout or say, if you do this, I'll do this. You just say it very nicely and say, look, this is really bothering me, you know. If you don't take time, this is what is going to happen, you know. I don't want that to happen, but the way you're going...
I think that line could be drawn after you've tried everything, after you've tried the candlelit dinner, the bedroom talk, and you know, the nice soothing conversations.
Well, there are so many methods. There are so many methods of doing things, but with my experience, anytime before I got married, anytime I was in a relationship, I drew my lines from the beginning, so you know exactly what you are coming in for.
Okay.
I don't go along with things and then later I'm like, no, this is too much. I draw my lines from the beginning.
So you're one of those who actually talk.
Yes, I talk a lot. Maybe that's why you have me in the studio.
And that's why I love having you in the studio.
I talk a lot, and I'm a very open person.
Yes.
I don't...
Which is what makes the difference. It's being open.
Yes.
Because you can talk a lot and... you know,
still,
but then it's the openness that I think that you know makes a lot of difference. So go on, Sydney.
So like I was saying, so nothing can be achieved without talking. And easy is saying, well, try other means and then get to a point where you start drawing lines. And I'm saying, well, I draw lines in the beginning. I don't want to go through that process, but then different things work for different people. So none of us is wrong, none of us is right. It depends on the individuals.
I think it depends on the individuals, the personality of the people, and everything else that comes in between. You know,
I think when this jealousy goes the other way, when it becomes negative, then yes, I do agree. Lines needs to be drawn. Because we all need that positive jealousy more than the negative. So when it becomes excessive, that's where you know there's something going on, or there's something rooted in that person.
Because
that is.
Have you seen, you know, like, or have you experienced the situation where you've been to a party or, you know, a gathering or something, and you see some couples really, they're, you know, the body language, the way things go. Like I've actually encountered one, and I'm thinking, no.
I'll give you an example. I had a guy. This guy, he was so bad, and I think some men or some women, it doesn't matter who. It can be anyone. It becomes a point where they enjoy it. When they're actually accusing and
so they enjoy the controlling.
Yes, manipulating the situation. I had this guy who would just literally, he if he rings me and I don't pick up, and he rings the second time and I pick up, he'll ask me, have you just finished having sex with somebody else?
Whoa, that's extreme.
Or have you just, you know, to the point that so what happens is
I hope you always say yes to that.
Oh yes, I always do. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
Yes, Sydney, I do. You know, to the point that if you're not strong or if you're not
resilient,
you you break, because they always want to see you feeling down and low and not good, you know. So I also started playing, you know, playing along with it. You know, so
did that kill him?
Well, yeah, he stopped calling now. It's history.
That is
interesting. So many things that,
yeah,
when someone becomes obsessive or excessive in jealousy, then it's just crazy.
It's not
best
nice,
to walk
though.
away.
It's not a nice feeling.
It's best to walk away.
Wow.
Yeah.
So talking about jealousy and obsessive behavior in relationships, we are going to take a quick breather. We would be right back.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart of the family ripped apart. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred or respect. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife and save a life. Quentin Slowly, supporting all family and young people.
The Discourse on ABN Radio, engaging our community with discerning conversation.
Join me, Esther Alade, every Wednesday morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on The Discourse, where we will be redefining perspectives with authentic analysis.
Join The Discourse every Wednesday from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on ABN Radio.
It's very scary to get onto the property ladder.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
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 No, it's not.
Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not.
Lay away your fears about the property market. Watch out for the new property and lifestyle show in association with On Point Property Limited, coming soon on ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
ABN TV, your favourite black broadcaster, is now on Virgin TV channel 842.
This is ABN Radio, projecting rich African culture through the power of radio.
Welcome back to the Bedtalk Show. We are live on ABN Radio. And so talking about jealousy and obsessive behavior. This is the Bedtalk Show. So you could give us a call on 0208 670 7300 0208 670 7300. You could also send us a WhatsApp or call us on WhatsApp if you are abroad on 0788 7475 940 0788 7475 940. So jealousy and obsessive behavior. We just read this lady's dilemma, having been with her husband for 2 years, but the husband is so jealous that it's I think she's struggling, and she's saying that she doesn't know how many more fights that she's ready to have now. She needs help. So in this situation, again, how can we help the couple work this through? What can we do? What tips could we give them?
I think it's straightforward, like we've said earlier. Sit yourselves down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing as a matured couple should do. Talk about it, you know, and find out a bit more about each other, what is happening in their past, or the negative things that they've gone through. In a way, you're kind of giving support, you know, to each other. You're supporting your wife. The wife is supporting the husband. In doing that, you're sharing, and also you find out actually the male might be even more vulnerable than the woman. Maybe he's hiding something that he's been struggling to, you know, bring it out. So it's all about communication, sitting down and trusting each other as well.
So
Ajua, do they have kids?
Let's see. I don't think they do.
When they start having kids, the jealousy will reduce.
You think so?
Yeah, I know so.
Why do you say that?
Because when kids get involved, the woman will not be free enough to be doing certain things she used to do, you know? and it brings other responsibilities.
But if they go to a party, she'll still want to talk to a male.
Yeah, well, that's fine, but she will not be free to go to as many
Yeah.
parties as she goes
So
to, and most of the time, the kids might be there.
Sydney is
She'll have
absolutely
other
right.
responsibilities.
Yeah, that would definitely take out a lot of the thoughts that will, come to the mind. Once she keeps herself busy or
Yeah.
something is going on in her life, she wouldn't have that space and time.
No, but the man will still be jealous. So how does that work? I mean, she might be, have a lot of things to keep her to keep her busy, the kids and what have you.
I did not say that jealousy will disappear. I said
Yeah.
it will reduce. And
You
it
think
will.
the man will stop being jealous?
He will not stop. Jealousy can't stop.
Would it reduce? Do you think so?
Yes, I know so. There will be less opportunities for him to be jealous. Look,
Less
when you start
opportunities.
having kids
Yeah.
and living a life, you know there are so many social aspects of your life that
you quench.
Yeah.
Kind of, okay.
Yeah.
That yeah, I kind of agree with it, but I still think that, if somebody is so obsessive and jealous, it could be a disorder, it could be something. And I don't think that people snap out of what they are just like that. Maybe he might need therapy to help him.
Well,
but
I was
don't
going to say,
think that
unless it's gone to that, level.
it's gotten to
where,
a dangerous point.
Yeah.
where he needs
Intervention.
because like I was
think-
saying that I witnessed this at a party, and these people had kids, yeah, but then the lady was dancing with somebody, and it might be somebody that she may have known or what have you, but the way the husband went to grab her, I mean, it was so embarrassing. It was not nice.
Well,
Then there's
I was just
something
going to say,
wrong.
Ajua, that is what you saw. You don't know what has led
I don't
to
know.
that.
Yes, I don't know what has led
Exactly.
to
So
that.
that is what you saw. You can't make judgments on something you've seen for 2 minutes.
No, but it shouldn't happen at
it shouldn't happen at
talk
all.
privately.
It shouldn't happen,
at
Yeah.
all.
but it happens.
Yeah.
We can't run away from that
shouldn't-
fact.
There shouldn't be any good excuse or reasons
Because
for
that means the person is so jealous that they can't control it. Because you could deal with it in a way that wouldn't create so much attention.
You don't know the dynamics of the
I don't,
relationship.
you're right.
You know?
But then it must be it must be very damaging because
Yeah,
that is brought
to onlookers, it looks really bad. But to them, it's probably something they do often. Because I remember there was a topic.
Wow.
There was a in our culture,
Yeah.
when it comes to settling certain issues in relationships, I know from experience that there were certain ladies who actually preferred to be, in quotes, abused by their husbands when settling disputes. Like when you go to the rural parts of Accra, the Ga areas, someone will tell you, well, when I do something wrong and my husband beats me, it's fine. It means he loves me. It's not strange. Is it strange? Ajo, have you heard this before? Have you heard it before?
No.
Go to
I
YouTube.
wouldn't take it.
No, you won't take it. But from where we come from, when you go to the very rural areas,
Yeah.
some of them see abuse as normal. They see it as normal.
So they enjoy. There's one thing
They
when
don't
you
enjoy,
there's
they
one thing-
accept.
There's one thing when you're having
They
sex
accept.
and intimacy, and maybe you introduce panking.
Well, that's
that is different.
hanky-panky. That's hanky-panky. That's a different issue.
different.
That's a different issue
But
altogether.
to say that, you. Oh well, I don't know.
Well, different things happen in different places.
True.
You know? So, yeah, there are strange things that happen. And you ask yourself, why is this person allowing this to happen?
Mm-hmm.
But hey, you don't know.
So, in terms of this lady's story, let's just thinking or assuming that the man might be listening with her. or, because I know that she did send the link. What can we tell the man? What are the consequences of his behavior, of his extreme jealousy and obsession? What can we tell him? What advice can we give him to tone things down?
Yeah. What I can contribute to this is if he's gone to that point where he himself cannot even trust himself, then that is issue, because you have to trust yourself in order to trust somebody else. Some people can't trust themselves to even leave them in a pool of women and not commit sin. Some people can trust themselves. So I think, I'm talking about men. If you can't trust yourself enough to trust your wife or your spouse, then you need to seek help. Otherwise, if it's just something that you can share with your husband or with your wife, do so. Set up somewhere, the two of you, talk about it and learn to trust your relationship. You've got to trust it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Sydney, I think someone picked up something that you said about gas. Did you say something about gas?
About what?
Well, gas.
About
Someone
what
says,
is that?
hey, Sydney, how could he limit that to gas?
Tell the person I'm a typical gang.
Oh, to gas.
Yes,
I mean,
yes. Yeah. Tell the person I'm a typical gang.
She is a guy too, you know.
Yeah, I'm a typical gang.
And she's actually got your surname too.
Exactly.
Now I'm saying. Now Sydney is Sydney Lamte too, and so Sydney is like, hey Sydney, how could you limit that to gas?
Because that is where I lived, and I can't go telling you things about people. Yeah. So that was my environment.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's what I saw in my environment. So
We've got another comment here, and Sophia, thank you once again. I'm loving you right now. Thank you so much for your comment. Sophia says that, has he always been jealous, or is this a new behavior? If so, what events have led to this jealous behavior? If he has always been jealous, then as you said, the girl should have laid her boundaries before committing in the long term. I think from my conversation with the person, I think this guy had always been jealous, but it was subtle. And at the point, she thought, okay, maybe it could be nice. But I think after it went on for a while, and when they got married, now that they're married, the guy feels that you are my possession now.
Mine.
And so it's taking it to a different level. And now it's become toxic. And where at the beginning, whereas she felt like she was being pampered and it was nice kind of jealousy, now she feels that she's drowning in that jealousy. So Sophia, to answer your question, that is what it is. So it was there, but it was subtle, and the lady didn't think that it would grow or escalate to the point where it is at the point it is right now. So that is it. But also, what can we obviously, since this is going on, they've kind of drifted apart. And as always, I am very interested in intimacy, because that's part of what this program is about. So one, if they've drifted apart, how do they become intimate again? How do they become intimate again? But before you answer that, Mo is sending a message. Mo says that, Mo, thank you so much for your contribution. Mo was on the show last week, and he did brilliant on it. But Mo, yeah, insecurity has a big role to play in it as well. Feeling unloved and wanted can manifest as jealous or other things. So, well, that's what Mo is saying. So, yeah. What do you think about this comment?
So I think feeling unloved, one cannot, you have to know the person you're with right from beginning. If you felt loved at first, and then halfway down the line you feel everything is kind of drifting off and you're not getting the love and the love, then of course that needs to come back. You need to go there again and bring the love back into the relationship, and make love. Because once that start to drift off, you're losing the whole relationship.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's sad when you're in a relationship and you feel unloved.
Yes.
And you feel unwanted and you're still in a relationship. I think that's the worst thing.
You feel like you're trapped in it.
Yeah. And often a lot of relationship turns up to be like that, where one will feel insignificant and the other person will think, oh, everything is okay. So it's not balanced. There's something wrong. And I think it's the love. If the love is gone, it can be brought back. No way. I mean, you should leave relationship, not, you know.
You should always work at your relationship. You know, it's a full-time job. It is. If you want to maintain the relationship, then it becomes a full-time job. Sometimes we become lazy in our relationships. You know, you just take things for granted. But now and again, you have to, you know, give yourself a kick in the backside. You know,
I think the other time I was on your show, Sister Adjoa, I remember I brought this up, how often we even date. We don't date. And
even
dating,
in marriages, it's necessary. You've got to have date nights and what have you.
I mean, this couple, they've been married for nearly 2 years or 2
2
years.
2 years, yeah.
When was the last time they dated? When was the last time they actually... That's why I said earlier, what a glass of wine. You can even date in your own home.
Yeah.
You can create the atmosphere and date and take your spouse out, even for a walk, even for just sit somewhere. It's a minor thing, but it carries such a weight into a relationship.
It brings closeness.
It does.
And
it
all
really
of that,
does.
Right?
You know, how often do we see our people walking on the street holding hands in hands?
Well, some of them don't even want to hold hands.
How often do we bring flowers?
I know, some people are not.
They find it uncomfortable holding hands.
How often do we carry flowers? How often do we buy box of chocolate? Hi, babe, this is for you. Hi, darling, this is for you. How often do we buy a shirt, a pair of undies? We don't, because we are so overwhelmed with life, too busy, and we forget the main thing, what is keeping us going, or why we're even in relationship. We forget it, and it dies.
Yeah, so true.
So we've got no one to blame but ourselves, unfortunately.
Mo is saying that you have to show the attention and dedication to help your partner know you are focused on them.
Exactly.
That your affections are towards them, and that there is nothing to be jealous of. That is so true. It is the how you show them that. Because according to this lady, she says, I keep telling him that I love him. I keep telling him there's nothing to worry about. He's the one that I love. And yet he keeps thinking that he's not good for her.
Why?
That's the question. The why is what we need to find out. I don't know if it's because the lady is more qualified. I don't know. I don't know. There is something.
Yes, she should ask him, you know, why? Why do you feel this way? What have I done to make you feel this way? You know, because if you start telling your wife that I don't think I'm good enough for you, then what are you trying to tell her?
Exactly.
Are you telling her to look for someone? Are you telling her to look for someone who's better than you?
That's the problem.
He doesn't trust himself.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah. I think he's just not confident in himself, and that has completely
insecurity.
Yeah, Dr. Mamiya says that I think the suggestion that they talk is the way to go, and of course they need some counseling too from a professional counselor. Actually, we haven't spoken about that. So, Doctor, thank you so much for bringing our attention.
That is why she's a doctor.
It's so true, right? So yeah, thank you so much. It's actually true. They probably, maybe the guy needs some kind of counseling, you know. And Na says that it's very dangerous. Actually, how do you reason with a person consumed with jealousy? that could also be a factor, because you want to sit down and talk, but they are so consumed in what they believe that they probably don't even believe what you're saying. You might want to say to them, you know what, babes, I love you. And they're thinking you're just saying it.
You're just saying it.
It's a difficult one. So, again, now that they've drifted apart and right now, like, intimacy is on hold, how do they bring sex back into the relationship?
Well, like Easy said, they just have to start from basics, you know, start dating. Yeah, just start dating, start talking, you know. Go out, go to different places. Actually, go to places you used to go when you started, you know. Go and make some memories. Go and bring some memories back. And then you can have conversations like, look, whatever his name is, you say, look, Fred, you know, in the beginning, we used to do this and that and that. I don't see that anymore. You know, and then take it back from there and then start again. And then through that, you know, you can have conversations about your jealousy and, you know, you weren't like this before. Why have you suddenly become so, you know, it worries me. And I wish we could sit down and talk about this so we can both be happy.
Yes.
Yeah, and you start fancying each other more. You start fancying each other again, as if you've just started dating, and that will, you know, bring back the love and the unity again. Because it's so sad when you're stuck in such an environment and you feel like all hope is lost. But you can start from what we just said. And if it doesn't work, at least you know
you've tried.
In your own strength, you've done this, you've done that, and it didn't work. If it didn't, or it doesn't work, then you can take it to the professionals.
So in a step-by-step kind of thing, what can we tell the lady? She's listening right now. So in a kind of step-by-step process, what should she do? How should she handle this whole scenario?
Okay.
I know we've talked a lot about different factors and different factions of it, but how do we?
Okay. What I will say is, number one, she should try and recognize the issues with the spouse. She should try and listen.
Okay.
Just listen. Encourage him to talk and just listen and not to judge. And be ready to hear him out. Just hear him out and offer support, whether professional support or her own, you know, way to support him, and also reassure him that it doesn't matter how bad he's got or he's gone. She's always going to be there for him. Sometimes they need constant reassuring.
Yeah.
You know, so her being that for him would increase his confidence and his self-esteem, because when you've lost your confidence and your self-esteem, you don't trust other people around you. Like, if they say, I'm here for you or I love you, they don't believe it because they've lost that confidence to even believe you or to believe others around them. So constant reassuring can be a very positive boosting for him to know that, you know, she's still there for him.
Right.
Just to listen. That is one of the main keys, I would say.
Okay. Sid, before I come to you, I want to read another one of Sophia's contributions. And Sophia is saying that there is telling and there is showing. So they say action speaks louder than words. Has she checked her behavior around him? The presence around him and in the presence of others.
Okay, so she's asking the wife.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's where I was going as well. Because the thing is, she's saying, when I do this, he's jealous. When I do that, he's jealous. When I do this, he's jealous. Have you actually sat down to critique yourself? Just look at yourself and ask yourself, well, how was I doing this? What was I doing?
Yeah.
Were other ladies present doing the same? Or was I the one going round to people, you know? Because sometimes you go to parties and you see things like that. You'll see reserved ladies. You see other extrovert ladies jump to this table. Hello, my name is da 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 da. Some men don't mind that. Some men like Mr. I don't know what his name is.
Mr.
Insecure.
XYZ.
He's insecure. So that will not sit well with him. You know, so you have to know who you are with. And that's why in the beginning I mentioned compromise.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be myself. You want to be yourself.
Yeah.
But it's not working for us. I have to adjust and move towards you. And you also have to adjust and move towards me.
Meet halfway.
Yeah, meet halfway. And then we can come to a useful, relationship.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so she shouldn't have an entrenched position saying, well, this is how I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an extrovert. I like to meet people around parties. But your other partner doesn't like that.
Okay.
So you don't have to do that all the time. You can compromise.
So she needs to
one day,
exactly.
Be sensitive. Be a bit
you
sensitive.
can go to a party one day and say, look, my husband, I know you don't like this. Today, I'm not going anywhere. I'll just sit here. It'll come to a point he will rather start telling you, well, just feel free. Just go and mingle a bit. So it's a compromise.
Yeah. Wow, compromise. So, Miss Lady, if you are listening, I am hoping that the discussion has given you some kind of, what should I call it? Some kind of
therapy.
Yeah, that you could use. Maybe I'm hoping that we've done a good enough job on your subject and it would help you. You've probably picked up one or two information, one or two advice or one or two tips from all the discussion that we have had so far, and I'm hoping that these tips will be able to help you. You can kind of make them your own, the ones that works for you and your partner, because we believe that you know your partner more than we do.
That's true.
And there must be a foundation. You need to probably speak to him, sit down with him, chat with him, ask him, why he feels the way he feels, what he's seeing, what has triggered it, what has happened in the past, if you haven't already had those kind of conversations, and take it from there. But as always, I am here, and you could always drop me a message on Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or what have you, and we will continue to deal with it. If it's necessary for therapy, then obviously that would be the way to go at some point in time. But thank you so much, all of you, for tuning in. I'm going to read my sex tip before I forget. And this week I say that get down on it. Okay, so that's my sex tip for you. Get down on it. I say help your partner get comfortable in the traditional sit on the floor position. Facing him, sit in his lap and mount him. While your legs are wrapped snugly around his waist, embrace each other and lock lips with a shared breath, so that as he exhales, your guy inhales and vice versa. So as you breathe in, rock your pelvis back and tighten your vaginal muscles around his hardness. As you exhale, rock your pelvis forward and release. Your guy should mirror that movement. Have fun with this tip. So yes, thank you so much, Sydney Lonte.
You're welcome.
It's amazing to have you. I hope to have you. Actually, I've got you next week. Yay!
Yeah, maybe.
Sydney, behave yourself. So I've got Sydney next week, and he's always amazing. And I think I've got Chris, and I've got Holly as well next week. So next week, it's going to be another interesting conversation. Izzy, thank you so much. You've been awesome. And I'm looking forward to have you again sometime very soon. And for everyone that's tuned in, to everyone that's watching on YouTube, Facebook, DAB, if you've tuned in online, I just want to say thank you so much for your continuous support. Have a lovely weekend. It's Saturday tomorrow. It's going to be cold, but enjoy it. Have a lovely weekend.
More news, more information. This is ABN News on the Hour.
From the Sky News Centre at 11, the US president says if teachers were armed, they would have shot the hell out of the teenager behind last week's shooting in Florida. Donald Trump has been speaking at his country's most